Emma's hands trembled as she turned the hotel keycard over in her fingers. She had found it in her husband's pocket while doing laundry, a small plastic thing that carried the weight of her worst fears. The hotel was only a 15-minute drive away, but each passing second felt like an eternity. She clutched the keycard tightly, her heart pounding against her ribs. Was she really about to do this? Did she want to know the truth? By the time she reached the hotel, her body was running on pure adrenaline. She strode through the lobby, her heels clicking against the polished floors, and found the elevator. Room 609. The numbers burned in her mind. Her breath hitched when she reached the door. She hesitated, fingers hovering over the key scanner. A single swipe and she would know. Taking a deep breath, she slid the card through. Beep. The light flashed green. The lock clicked open. She pushed the door open, her heart hammering so loudly it drowned out every other sound. Her stomach clenched as she braced herself to see her husband with another woman. But when the door swung fully open, her breath caught in her throat. It wasn't another woman. It was her best friend, standing in the middle of the hotel room, wearing nothing but a robe. Emma froze in the doorway, gripping the doorframe to steady herself. Her best friend, Olivia, stood in the middle of the hotel room, her damp hair clinging to her shoulders. The plush white robe barely concealed her figure, and the way she clutched it closed only made Emma's stomach twist tighter. The silence stretched between them, thick and suffocating. "Emma?" Olivia's voice came out in a startled whisper, her eyes widening in shock. Emma forced her stiff legs to move, stepping inside and letting the door swing shut behind her. "What the hell is this?" Her voice was hoarse, barely above a whisper, but filled with raw emotion. Olivia took a shaky breath, pulling the robe tighter around her. It's not what you think." Emma let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head. "Oh, really? Because I think I found my husband's hotel keycard in his pocket, and now I'm standing in a hotel room where you just happen to be half naked." She threw the keycard onto the bed. "So, tell me, what exactly should I be thinking?" Olivia swallowed hard, her fingers curling into the robe's fabric. Emma, just listen to me. Please." Emma's chest tightened. "How long?" she whispered. Olivia's eyes darted away. "How long what? How long have you been sleeping with my husband?" A sharp inhale. Olivia's hands trembled. "I'm not." Emma scoffed. "Don't lie to me, Olivia." Her voice cracked, and the betrayal clawed at her throat. "God, I trusted you. You were the one I always confided in, the one I told everything to, and now this? This is why you always told me to trust him. Because you were the other woman?" Olivia's head snapped up. "I am not the other woman," she said firmly, her voice thick with emotion. "Emma, I swear to you, I would never do that to you." Emma's heart pounded painfully. "Then why are you here?" A beat of silence. Olivia exhaled shakily. "It's not what it looks like." Emma let out a hollow laugh, stepping back. "Then explain. Explain why you're in a hotel room linked to my husband. Explain why you look guilty as hell." Olivia hesitated for a moment before reaching for something on the nightstand. Emma's eyes flicked to the object, a second keycard. "This isn't his room, Emma," Olivia whispered. "It's mine." Emma's breath hitched. The room suddenly felt too small, the walls closing in. "What?" Olivia looked down, her voice barely above a whisper. "I booked this room for myself." Emma's mind spun, grasping at the words. "Why?" Olivia sighed, sitting on the edge of the bed, her shoulders slumping. "Because I needed a place to think. Because I didn't know how to tell you." She stopped herself, her throat working like she was swallowing back words she wasn't ready to say. Emma's pulse raced. "Tell me what?" Olivia finally met her eyes, her expression filled with guilt. "It's not your husband I've been seeing, Emma. It's someone else." Emma's stomach twisted. "Who?" Olivia hesitated, then exhaled. "Your husband gave me the key because he knows." Emma took a step back, her voice barely above a whisper. "Knows what?" Olivia swallowed hard. "That I've been seeing someone, and that I couldn't tell you, because I was scared." She took a deep breath before whispering, "Because it's your brother." Emma's breath caught in her throat. Her brother? The room blurred at the edges as she struggled to process Olivia's words. A heavy silence stretched between them, filled only by the faint hum of the air conditioning. My brother? Emma repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. She shook her head, as if trying to make sense of it. You're saying you've been seeing Nathan? Olivia exhaled shakily and nodded. Yes. A hollow laugh escaped Emma's lips, sharp and disbelieving. You. She cut herself off, running a hand through her hair. You're telling me that I just walked into a hotel room, thinking I'd find my husband cheating, only to find my best friend hiding a relationship with my brother? Olivia's fingers curled into the robe, her knuckles turning white. I wanted to tell you, Emma. I swear. But I didn't know how you'd react. Emma clenched her jaw, her emotions spiraling into a tangled mess of confusion, anger, and betrayal. How long? Olivia hesitated. Emma's stomach twisted.
How long?
Almost a year. Emma's breath hitched.
A year?
She took a step back as a bitter laugh bubbled up. For a whole year you've been sneaking around with my brother, and you never thought to tell me? I was scared, Olivia whispered. Scared of how you'd take it. I didn't want to lose you. Emma scoffed. Oh, so instead, you let me think my husband was cheating on me? You let me walk in here, expecting the worst? I didn't know you'd find the key, Emma. Olivia's voice wavered. Nathan and we didn't mean for it to happen this way. But your husband, he found out, and he's the one who gave me the key. He wanted me to tell you. Emma stiffened. Mark knew. Olivia nodded hesitantly.
Yeah.
He found out a while ago. He thought you deserved the truth. Emma's mind reeled. Her husband knew before she did? And he didn't say anything? Olivia swallowed hard. I love him, Emma. The words made Emma's heart tighten. She stared at Olivia, searching for any hint of dishonesty, but all she saw was raw vulnerability. Emma pressed a hand to her forehead, exhaling shakily. I don't even know what to say to you right now. Olivia took a cautious step forward. Please don't hate me. Emma clenched her fists at her sides. I don't hate you, Olivia, she whispered. But I don't know if I can forgive you either. A heavy silence settled between them. Then, Emma turned on her heel and walked out the door. She needed air. She needed time. And more than anything, she needed to figure out what this meant for everything she thought she knew. Emma barely registered the elevator ride down to the lobby. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out the soft chime of the doors opening. The moment she stepped out of the hotel, the cool night air hit her, but it did nothing to calm the storm raging inside her.
A year.
For an entire year, Olivia had been hiding this. And Mark, her own husband, had known and never told her. She clenched her jaw as she marched toward her car, her mind spinning. She needed answers, and she knew exactly where to get them. 15 minutes later, Emma pulled up in front of her brother's apartment building. The drive had done nothing to ease her emotions. If anything, the silence had only fueled her anger. She took a deep breath, climbed out of the car, and stormed up the stairs to Nathan's floor. Without hesitation, she pounded on his door. The door swung open within seconds, revealing Nathan, dressed in a simple t-shirt and sweatpants. His dark eyes widened in surprise. Emma? Emma didn't wait for an invitation. She pushed past him into the apartment, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Nathan sighed as he shut the door. I take it you talked to Olivia. Emma whirled around to face him. That's all you have to say? Her voice was sharp, laced with betrayal. I just found out that my best friend, Nathan, has been sneaking around with you for a year. And you never thought to tell me? Nathan ran a hand through his hair. I wanted to. We both did. Emma scoffed. Then why didn't you? Nathan hesitated before exhaling. Because we didn't know how you'd take it. Olivia was scared of losing you, and he stopped himself, shaking his head. I didn't want to mess up our relationship either. Emma let out a hollow laugh. Oh, so instead, you both decided to just lie to me? Do you have any idea how humiliating it was to walk into that hotel room, thinking I was catching my husband cheating, only to find my best friend standing there like some kind of, she broke off, shaking her head. God, Nathan, I thought she was with Mark. Nathan's expression darkened. Wait, Mark. Emma clenched her fists. Yes, Mark. Because I found that hotel key in his pocket. So tell me, Nathan, why the hell does my husband have access to Olivia's hotel room? Nathan stiffened, his jaw tightening. A flicker of something unreadable crossed his face. Mark had her key? Yes, Emma snapped. And now that I think about it, he's the one who let me find it. She narrowed her eyes. You said he knew about you and Olivia, right? How long has he known? Nathan hesitated, then sighed. A couple of months. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. Months? So Mark knew. He knew and never said a word to me. Her stomach twisted. And now he's suddenly handing me a hotel key, knowing exactly what I'd think. Nathan's face darkened further. That doesn't make sense. Emma swallowed hard.
No.
It doesn't. A silence stretched between them, heavy with realization. Nathan's voice was quiet but firm. Emma, what if he wanted you to find it? Emma felt her breath hitch. Why would he do that? Nathan met her eyes. Because maybe Mark wanted you to be so focused on Olivia that you wouldn't start asking questions about him. The words settled over her like ice. Emma had been so consumed by the shock of Olivia's secret that she hadn't stopped to think about why Mark had a key to that room in the first place. A sinking feeling formed in the pit of her stomach. What was her husband hiding? Emma stood frozen in Nathan's apartment, her mind racing with a chilling realization. Mark wanted her to find that key. It wasn't just a careless mistake. It was intentional. Nathan watched her closely, his expression unreadable. Emma, he said carefully, are you sure Mark hasn't been acting strange? Emma swallowed hard, replaying the past few months in her head. Had he? He had been coming home late more often. He had been distracted, distant. She had chalked it up to work stress, but now she wasn't so sure. He's been different, she admitted, her voice quieter now. But I never thought. She shook her head, unable to say the words. Nathan exhaled. Look, I know you're mad at me and Olivia right now, but if Mark wanted you distracted, it means there's something he really doesn't want you looking into. Emma pressed a hand to her forehead. I don't even know where to start. Nathan's jaw tightened. Maybe the hotel. Emma blinked at him. If he had that key, Emma, it means he's been to that hotel before, Nathan pointed out. And if it wasn't for Olivia, then who is it for? A chill ran down Emma's spine. She had been so consumed with Olivia's secret that she hadn't thought about what else might be hiding in that hotel. Her fingers curled into fists. Then I guess I need to go back. 1 hour later, back at the hotel, Emma sat in her car outside the hotel, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Her heart pounded as she stared up at the building. It looked so normal, so unsuspecting. But now, she knew better. She took a deep breath and grabbed her phone. Emma, I need a favor. Meet me at the hotel lobby. She didn't have to wait long before a response came. Nathan, on my way. Emma exhaled and stepped out of the car. She wasn't doing this alone. Inside the hotel, the lobby was quiet, the scent of fresh flowers and expensive cologne lingering in the air. Emma tapped her fingers against the marble front desk, waiting for the receptionist's attention. Nathan stood beside her, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. What's the plan? He murmured. Emma straightened her shoulders. I'm going to find out how many times Mark has checked into this hotel. Nathan nodded approvingly. Good. And if you find something? Emma's lips pressed into a thin line. Then I deal with it. The receptionist finally looked up, a polite smile on her face. How can I assist you? Emma returned the smile, her voice calm but firm.
Hi.
My husband left something in one of the rooms he stayed in recently, but he can't remember the exact dates. Could you check your system for any reservations under the name Mark Callahan? The receptionist hesitated. I'm sorry, ma'am, but we can't give out guest information. Emma forced a nervous laugh. Oh, I totally understand. It's just, he's always so forgetful, and I'd rather not bother him while he's in a meeting. She leaned in slightly. It's just a keychain. It has sentimental value. The receptionist hesitated again, then sighed. Let me see what I can find. Emma held her breath as the woman typed into the computer. Nathan shifted beside her, his muscles tense. After a moment, the receptionist frowned slightly. It looks like Mr. Callahan has been here multiple times in the past few months. Emma's stomach dropped. Multiple times? She forced herself to stay calm. Do you happen to know which rooms he stayed in? The woman scanned the screen. It varies, but his most recent check-in was, oh. Her expression changed slightly. He checked into a room just 2 days ago. Emma felt her pulse spike. 2 days ago? She repeated.
Yes.
Room 712. Emma exchanged a look with Nathan. Not Olivia's room. Nathan leaned in. Was he alone? The receptionist frowned. I'm sorry, sir, but I really can't give that information. That's okay. Emma cut in, offering a sweet but forced smile. Thank you so much for your help. The woman nodded and went back to her work. Emma turned to Nathan, her mind spinning. Room 712, she murmured. Nathan's expression darkened. What do you want to do? Emma clenched her jaw. I want to see who the hell my husband has been meeting in that room. Emma's heart pounded as she stood outside room 712. The polished brass numbers gleamed under the dim hallway light, mocking her. 2 days ago, her husband had been in this very room. Beside her, Nathan scanned the hallway. Are you sure you want to do this? He asked, voice low. Emma swallowed the lump in her throat. I need to know. She lifted a shaky hand and knocked. 1,
2,
3 times. Silence. Nathan tensed beside her. Maybe no one's. Click. The sound of the door unlocking made Emma's breath catch. Slowly, the door creaked open. A woman stood in the doorway, her expression unreadable. She was beautiful. Dark eyes, high cheekbones, long, sleek black hair that framed her face perfectly. She wore a silk blouse and fitted pencil skirt, like she had just come from an important meeting. Emma's pulse spiked. The woman's sharp gaze flicked between Emma and Nathan before she spoke. You must be Mark's wife. Emma's stomach twisted. And you are? The woman tilted her head slightly, offering a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Come in. Emma hesitated, glancing at Nathan. He gave her a slight nod, his jaw tight. They both stepped inside. The room was pristine, not a trace of a romantic affair. No wine glasses, no messy sheets, nothing to indicate intimacy. The woman closed the door and folded her arms. I was expecting you sooner. Emma stiffened. Excuse me? The woman sighed, her sharp nails tapping against her arm. I knew Mark wouldn't be able to keep it from you forever. Emma's heart pounded louder. Keep what from me? Nathan took a step forward. Who the hell are you? The woman's lips curled slightly. Danica Liu. Emma frowned. That name sounds. Then it hit her. Liu Industries. A powerful corporation involved in finance, private security, and political scandals. Emma's mouth went dry. Why was my husband meeting you? Danica's gaze darkened. Because your husband got involved in something he shouldn't have. Nathan's eyes narrowed. Be specific. Danica exhaled, stepping closer. Mark has been working with my company for months. At first, it was business until he dug too deep. Emma's stomach twisted. Deep into what? Danica's gaze locked onto hers. A corruption ring. Money laundering, illegal dealings, and ties to people who don't forgive mistakes. Mark got curious. He found something, and instead of walking away, he took something he shouldn't have. Emma felt like the ground beneath her was shifting. What do you mean, took something? Danica's voice dropped. A flash drive. One that contains evidence against some very powerful people. Emma's blood ran cold. Nathan's fists clenched. And where's Mark now? Danica's jaw tightened. That's the problem. He's missing. Silence. Emma's world tilted.
No.
He came home last night. Danica shook her head. No, Emma. That wasn't Mark. That was a man making his final appearances before he disappears. Emma's breath came in short, shallow gasps.
No. No. No.
Nathan stepped forward, his voice low. Do you know who took him? Danica hesitated before nodding. I have a name. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper, pressing it into Emma's palm. Emma looked down at the single name written on it, Vincent Carter. Her fingers tightened around the paper as she whispered, Who is he? Danica's eyes were grim. A fixer. A man you don't want looking for you. Emma felt the room spin. Her husband wasn't cheating. He was in serious danger. And now so was she. Emma felt the weight of the paper in her hand as if it were a bomb ready to go off. Vincent Carter. The name sounded unfamiliar, but the warning in Danica's voice told her everything she needed to know. Whoever this man was, he was dangerous. She forced herself to stay calm. You said Mark took something. Do you know where it is? Danica studied her for a moment before shaking her head. If I knew, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you. Nathan's jaw tightened. So, what now? Do we just wait for someone to come after us? Danica crossed her arms. That depends. Do you want to find your husband, or do you want to stay alive? Emma's stomach twisted. Both. Danica sighed, pulling a business card from her pocket and handing it to her. My advice? Walk away. Pretend you never found that hotel key. Pretend Mark was cheating. It's safer that way. Emma's fingers clenched around the card. I can't just pretend my husband doesn't exist. Danica's lips pressed into a thin line. Then you'd better be ready for what comes next. Emma met her gaze, fire burning in her chest. I am. Danica held her stare for a moment before nodding. Then start with that name. She gestured toward the slip of paper. But be careful. Vincent Carter doesn't just find people. He makes sure they disappear. A shiver ran down Emma's spine. Nathan placed a firm hand on her shoulder. We'll handle it. Danica sighed and moved toward the door. Then I wish you luck. You're going to need it. She walked out, leaving Emma and Nathan alone in the dimly lit hotel room. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Nathan exhaled sharply. Well, shit. Emma finally sat down on the edge of the bed, her mind spinning. What if Mark really is gone? She whispered. Nathan crouched in front of her, his expression serious. Then we find out why. Emma stared at the name in her hands. Vincent Carter. Whoever he was, he had answers. And she was going to get them, no matter what it took. Emma sat in the passenger seat of Nathan's car, gripping the slip of paper with Vincent Carter's name as if it held the key to everything. The city lights blurred past them, her mind racing faster than the traffic. Nathan glanced at her. You're too quiet. What's going on in that head of yours? Emma exhaled sharply. We need to find out who Vincent Carter is before we go anywhere near him. Nathan nodded. Agreed. We don't even know if he's working alone or if Mark was caught up in something bigger. Emma's fingers drummed against the dashboard. Danica said Mark took a flash drive. If Vincent's after it, that means Mark still has it. Or, she hesitated, voice tight, he hid it before they got to him. Nathan's grip on the steering wheel tightened. Which means we need to find it first. Emma swallowed hard. And there's only one place Mark would hide something important. Nathan raised an eyebrow. Home. Emma nodded. Nathan turned the car toward her house. Then let's hope we're not already being watched. Emma's house, midnight. The second Emma stepped inside, she felt a shift in the air. Something wasn't right. Nathan stepped in behind her, his posture tense. Stay close, he murmured. Emma walked toward Mark's study, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The room was exactly how he had left it, except for the desk drawer. It was slightly open. Her breath caught. Nathan noticed it too. Someone's already searched here. Emma's fingers trembled as she pulled the drawer open all the way. Inside, everything was neatly arranged. Mark's usual documents, a few pens, and his work tablet. But the hidden compartment underneath the drawer was slightly ajar. She reached for it. Nathan's hand shot out, stopping her. Wait. Emma frowned. What? He grabbed a pen from the desk and slowly lifted the hidden panel. Inside, there was a small black USB drive. Emma's stomach dropped. Nathan's jaw clenched. This must be what they're looking for. Emma picked it up carefully. We need to see what's on it. Nathan glanced toward the windows. Not here. If Vincent Carter or anyone else is watching the house, We don't have much time before they realize we found it. Emma nodded. Then let's go. But just as she turned to leave, a shadow moved outside the window. Nathan reacted instantly, grabbing her wrist and pulling her toward the back exit. We have to go.
Now.
Nathan tightened his grip on Emma's wrist, pulling her toward the back exit as adrenaline surged through them. Footsteps crunched outside the window. Someone was there. Watching. Waiting. Emma's heart pounded. If they didn't leave now, they wouldn't get another chance. Nathan moved fast, guiding her toward the back door, but just as they reached it,
Click.
the unmistakable sound of the front door unlocking. Emma sucked in a sharp breath. Someone has a key, she whispered. Nathan didn't hesitate. He pressed a finger to his lips, signaling for silence, then slowly pushed open the back door. The cool night air hit them as they stepped outside. Darkness stretched around them, broken only by the glow of a nearby street lamp. Nathan scanned their surroundings. Stay close, he murmured. They slipped into the shadows just as the front door creaked open. A low male voice spoke from inside. Check the study. Emma's breath hitched. They were looking for the flash drive. Nathan tugged her arm. We have to move.
Now.
They sprinted toward the back gate, their footsteps muffled by the grass. As they reached the alley, Emma risked a glance back. A dark figure stood in the doorway, watching them. Her stomach twisted. Whoever it was, they knew she had the drive. Nathan yanked her forward. Come on. They ran toward his car, parked 2 blocks away. Emma's lungs burned, but she pushed forward. Just a little further. A sudden engine roared to life behind them. Headlights flooded the alley. Nathan cursed. They're coming after us. He grabbed her hand and veered left, cutting through a narrow passage between 2 buildings. The car screeched as it turned sharply, tires skidding on the pavement. Emma's pulse raced. We need to lose them. Nathan scanned their surroundings. Then his eyes locked on something. There. He pulled her toward an old abandoned parking garage. Emma hesitated. Are you crazy? Nathan smirked. Trust me. With no other choice, she followed. They rushed inside, weaving through rows of rusted, forgotten cars. Nathan led her to a darkened corner, pressing her against a concrete pillar as they caught their breath. The car chasing them slowed outside the entrance. Emma held her breath. Would they come in? Seconds passed. Then, the car's engine revved. And then it sped away. Emma exhaled, her legs weak with relief. They're gone. Nathan wasn't convinced. For now. His gaze darkened. But they know we have the drive. This isn't over. Emma looked down at the tiny USB in her palm, its weight heavier than ever. Her husband was missing. People were hunting them. And now they held the one thing that could either save Mark or get them killed. Emma clutched the USB drive at her palm as she and Nathan caught their breath in the abandoned parking garage. She had been chasing the truth, but now she wasn't sure if she wanted to know it. Nathan straightened, his sharp gaze scanning their surroundings. We can't stay here. We need to see what's on that drive. Emma nodded, though her heart felt heavy. Everything in her life had changed in a matter of days. Her husband was missing. Someone was hunting them. And now she wasn't sure if she would ever get her old life back. Nathan took her wrist, leading her toward his car. The moment his fingers wrapped around her skin, something inside her stirred, a warmth she had ignored for too long. But she shoved it down. Now wasn't the time. A safe house, 3 a.m. Nathan's contact had secured them a hidden location, a small, rundown motel outside the city, away from prying eyes. It wasn't much, but it was safe. Emma sat at the edge of the bed, laptop open, staring at the flash drive in her hands. This was it. Nathan sat beside her, close but careful, as if sensing her hesitation. You ready? Emma inhaled sharply.
No.
But she plugged the drive in anyway. The screen flickered, revealing a folder titled Project Scorpion. She clicked it. Files flooded the screen, financial records, names, transactions. And then, a video. Nathan hovered closer. Play it. Emma clicked. The video showed Mark, sitting in a dark room, his face bruised, his shirt torn. He was speaking to someone off camera. I didn't mean to find it, Mark said, his voice hoarse. I just want it out. But you won't let me, will you? A cold voice responded. You should have thought about that before stealing from us. The screen went black. Emma's blood turned to ice. Nathan's jaw clenched.
He's alive.
Emma swallowed hard. For now. Her heart twisted painfully. Mark had been lying to her, hiding things. But even after everything, she couldn't let him die. Nathan ran a hand through his hair. Emma, we can use this. This evidence, it's enough to take them down. Emma stared at the screen, her mind reeling. If they exposed this, Mark might have a chance. But if they failed, they were dead. And then she felt it. Nathan's gaze on her.
Soft.
Patient. Waiting. She turned to him, searching his face. He had been by her side through all of this. Protecting her. Fighting for her. Unlike Mark. Nathan sighed. Emma, when this is over, what do you want? Her throat tightened. I don't know. He reached out, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. I think you do. Her heart ached.
Because she did.
Mark was her husband, but their love had been crumbling long before this. She had spent years ignoring the distance between them, convincing herself that loyalty was enough. But with Nathan, things were different. She felt safe.
Alive.
Wanted. She closed her eyes. Nathan, I can't. He exhaled sharply. I know. Emma opened her eyes, forcing a small, sad smile. But thank you for being here. Nathan studied her for a long moment before nodding. Always. And just like that, the moment passed. Emma turned back to the screen, her heart heavier than ever. She wasn't ready for love again.
Not yet. Right now, she had one job.
Save Mark. Expose the truth. End this nightmare. Even if it meant walking away from Nathan forever. 6 months later. The courtroom was silent as the judge's gavel struck the desk. The court finds Vincent Carter guilty on all charges, including conspiracy, kidnapping, and financial fraud. Sentencing will be carried out immediately. Emma exhaled slowly, gripping the edge of the wooden bench as the verdict echoed through the room. It was over. The evidence from the flash drive had been enough to dismantle the entire operation. Mark had been found alive, wounded, shaken, but alive. He had testified against Vincent, exposing the corruption he had unknowingly stumbled into. But their marriage? It hadn't survived. Emma glanced across the room, where Mark sat at the defendant's table, his face unreadable. Too much had happened.
Too many lies.
They had tried to fix things, but in the end, some things were beyond repair. Emma stepped into the sunlight, breathing in the crisp autumn air. She was free. She had spent so long chasing the truth, fighting for answers. And now, standing on the other side of it, she felt lighter, stronger. A familiar voice pulled her from her thoughts. You did it. Emma turned, and there he was. Nathan. He leaned casually against his car, his dark eyes warm but cautious, as if waiting to see if she wanted him there. Emma smiled softly. We did it. Nathan studied her for a moment before pushing off the car. So, what now? Emma exhaled. I don't know. For the first time in a long time, I don't have a plan. Nathan smirked. Sounds terrifying. She laughed, really laughed, for the first time in months. Maybe. But also kind of exciting. He hesitated. And us. Emma looked up at him, her heart steady. She had spent years holding onto something broken, afraid to let go. Not anymore. She stepped closer, placing a hand on his chest. I think I'd like to find out. Nathan's expression softened. Yeah. Emma nodded. He smiled, that rare, genuine smile that always made her feel safe. And when he pulled her into his arms, she didn't hesitate. For the first time in forever, Emma wasn't running from the past. She was walking toward the future. And this time she was ready.